My story begins in 1966, August 29th at 4:30 p.m. I was born to the most wonderful matriarch I have ever known, the late Priska, and the legend himself, the late Mwalimu Samson. I was born when it was raining, and that is why I was named Nafula. My name is Roslyn Nafula Wechuli. Welcome to my story.
Growing up, I remember you used to tell us funny stories about how when you moved schools, you used to wear socks and shoes, and then you went to this other school and no one used to wear socks or shoes, and they're all walking barefoot to school, and you were like, no, is this going to be my life? Is that the same school? Is that Lugulu Mixed Primary, or was that another school? Please tell us about that story.
Now it gets interesting. It is not actually the Lugulu boarding school, because you see, when we moved to the boarding school, of course people are in shoes. Yeah. Now butter was booming at that time, so there it was a bit okay. There's just the culture shock of the language. But now, remember, you know, just as I was starting the story, Dad had relocated from the boys' school to go and further his studies. Now, when we were being taken to that boarding school, there was a cousin who was older than us in class 6 that was taking care of us. Then she decided to sneak out of school. Actually, she just ran away. She just took off. Because she was from the village, she was from the village, complete, the village life. So trying to adapt to the boarding life became very difficult for her. So she took off. So one day we just woke up and she had jumped over the fence and left. So like, we are looking around the school for her, we couldn't find her. And so now there we have nobody to take care of us. So the headmistress had to call our parents to say, and remember, even my mom also had gone for training in Nakuru. Yeah. And Dad had also left to go and now further his studies because he had gotten a scholarship. Yeah. Yeah. So they decided that it was time then for us to relocate now to the village, complete village life, where our grandma was. And you see, now we are moving from Webuye to a place next to the mountain. There is a special mountain. It's not a mountain, I think it's a hill in Bungoma called Sangalo. So like, now we are just being moved, places now. There we become now like nomads. So there, and we were very happy, by the way, because you see, now we just didn't have anybody to take care of us, and we were so scared for us to be given somebody else to take care of us. So now in the village, Dad decides that as we await for him to graduate and come back and make arrangements, we tentatively have to attend school in a village school. Now that's where the trouble starts. That village school, uniforms are different. People don't plait their hair. They don't wear shoes. They don't put on socks. They speak is it traditional language, or is it the local dialect? Yeah. Yes. And that is the Nyala people mixed with Bukusu people. So us, we are from both clans. So there we are now, we are totally lost. But who are we? As we want to go to school, they don't even have the school bags. Yeah. They don't have. People just carry books in their hands. Oh, no. And we are like, hi, this is different kind of. What kind of barbaric life is this? Yes, there you go. So now with my sister, we are holding our hands, and then there we are in butter shoes and socks, white clean socks. And guess what? We actually put on our boarding primary uniform. We were marching to school. And in school, we don't know any other language other than English. In fact, we had refused to talk Kiswahili. So now we are the center of attraction.
Yeah. Everybody's
People
looking.
would come and literally feel the socks. I was like, okay, what are people putting? It's like they want to have that feel of who are these children. Even in class, actually, the teachers would want us to actually teach the other students because we are way ahead of the local school. So even adapting to that also became very hard for us. Eventually we had, because of now that, we thought people were making fun of us. So like 1-2 days we missed going to school, and we just told our grandma, tell dad that we also just want to be like these other children. So if you want us to go, of course we will not go bare feet, but get us something that they can relate to. So we had to get rubber shoes. Because a few pupils in the school and the teachers, of course, most of them had those nice rubber shoes, the common ones. So imagine that's now what we ended up using. But we couldn't give up our socks.
Okay.
Yes.
All this time that you're moving from one school to the next,
Yes.
and you're having like this nomadic lifestyle when you're so small, where were your parents? Where was your mom? Where was your dad? Why couldn't you perhaps live with them and go to school where they were? What was happening at that time?
Now, I had mentioned dad had gone to further his studies. Remember, these colleges, like the teachers training colleges, they don't give them houses. When you go to the college, it is you as a student. You also have, the institution has just the boarding facility. There's no provision for you staying with your families. Mom was in a commercial college. So she had to be housed by her sister then in Rift Valley, because she was in Rift Valley Technical Institute. So, being in that kind of institute, those days, okay? Them days, that's a commercial then it was a commercial college, so you can't even have a rental place like you'd move your children there. And remember, it's a seasonal one. You're only there. Most of them used to go, by the way, vocational training. Yeah. So you can't also go with your family. We were still barely very small. So my dad and mom thought we would be safer with our grandma than going to town, because that's a commercial. And then mom was being housed by her sister. So you can't actually go there and then you take your family to your sister's place. And your sister also has a family. And those are barely like smaller places then, because they were staying along they were being called the post office staff lines. Yes. So then mom just decided, no, it was just for a period of time. So 1 year wasn't too much for us to actually just like bear. Yeah, because it wasn't that bad anyway. Yeah. So we had a house, we had everything. Yeah, and then remember village life, then even now, before, like, I'll come to other story when it became really bad. But now our ancestral place was very comfortable. You have got everything free, food, and then my grandma was still very strong. So really, we were very safe. And then our cousins, remember, it's a neat family. Yes, so we were all of us, like my cousins and everything. So it wasn't really like that bad. So just to give them a little, little time and space for them to finish up what they wanted to do, because dad knew he saw ahead, because he was preparing himself for a better place. Yes, and they needed that qualification, so he just had to do it. Because you see, there he was a senior teacher, but now he was being offered a slightly higher position, and he had just to finish this. And mom also had to do something. Yeah, she had also to go and get her certificate, because she was a fully secretary, which of course later on I'll tell you about, like what ended up, what happened in their careers. Yes.
That's wonderful. Now, before we move on from your education life, yes, quickly, you've mentioned your ancestral home.
Yes.
Is this ancestral place still in existence?
Yes, it is, but we are no longer the occupiers. Now, what happened is, history will prove us correct. Now, these days you call it SGR. Before then, just used to be a railway station. Now in Bungoma County, there's the famous Sudi railway station, which was within our ancestral place. That was the only, beacon. And then there was again, development was coming up so fast. Remember, I mentioned pan paper, yes. And then now there was an introduction of a sugarcane milling factory that was earmarked. And this sugar factory is called Nzoia. In fact, most of the people may relate to it because, of course, they have also had a football club that was doing very well in that region. So they had earmarked that region to put up that factory. Now, there was a problem. They needed a lot of acreage of land for them to put up that factory and have a nuclear. When I say nuclear, normally they have to have their own farms. Is it farms? For production. Before you now source farmers to plant sugarcane and bring it to the factory for milling or for manufacturing sugar, you need also to have your own nucleus or smaller parts of how you plant. Like you can plant sugarcane 1 year. They go into stages. So they needed a very wide, vast place to do that activity. So then we were affected because that area where we were was very fertile, and that was the place that the government and the investor had earmarked. So my lineage, should I call lineage or clan?
Yeah.
And then just before even I mention clan, we are originally from Kakamega. We are Manyalas. So Manyalas, a whole entire bloodline had moved away from Kakamega and came to settle into this fertile part of the region. And now here the axe was falling on us. We still had to move to pave way for this establishment.
Yeah.
Yes. So that ancestral, it is there, but now doing, okay, the occupiers are now running that establishment, Nzoia Sugar Company. So we were actually the entire clan, the entire space, and you can imagine, my grandfathers, my uncles, and plus other people, we were all evicted. And compensation, of course, we were given. Every family was given a certain amount. People who have also been affected in other areas, they may also resonate with this. Like you're given some handout for you to relocate and go to other areas, look for land. So yes, the place is still there, but different activity, different people occupying that place, as I explained. Yes.
Okay. We'll come back to that once you start speaking about your mom and your dad.
Yes.
Now, quickly, just tell us, how was the education system then? Because now you've moved schools. How did you complete it? And then did you go to secondary school? Like, how was that education system during those days? How did you move from, as a young, small girl to now, like, a young lady? How was that transition?
Now, maybe just like briefly to say, so like now the eviction has come. We are barely even done our KCPE. We are still in our mid-primary, so we are relocating to another place. Likely Dad had some business somewhere away from that nuclear place. So like we are going again into another village school, and we actually did complete. When we are just like going into senior primary, then now Dad arrives. Now he has graduated, and now he has to be posted to another new school or another new secondary school. So like now from there, we are now moving, now from the village, we are now slowly moving back to town, to the urban areas. So we find ourselves now in Webu, in an urban area, where Dad now from college gets a part-time teaching job. Again, just briefly, in Webuye. Then within no time, in fact, in that school, I think I only did class 5 there, and my sister was in standard 6. We only did 1 term, and then we were moved now to a better school. Now here we are in the Friends School Kamusinga in Bungoma County, and now Dad there has a senior position. So there we see the light at the end of the tunnel now again, because we actually now go back to where we were when we started, because now we have everything. We have a very huge house, big house, environment is good. You know, now we have like literally everything, yeah, because it's now a senior. Now the nearest school, instead of going to a boarding school, because now we're just finishing our primary level, they decided to enroll us to a Catholic school, which is just purely for girls, and that was our excitement. Because you see now other village schools, now we were doing mixed schools, but now we are coming into an urban area now, it's purely girls school, and that was very exciting. Now we finish our primary level, and now the calling letters arrive. Now we have now to graduate to the secondary school. Yeah, now I was privileged then now to officially join the Lugulu Girls High School. It's a provincial school, very popular in Western Kenya. And my sister, of course I keep mentioning her long because you see we were the two of us. So now she went to Busia, the Nangina Girls High School. So you see now we have become now big, big girls. Yes, we are now becoming big girls.